Okay, so as you can see here, I started on this differential housing. I forgot to film the first bit. Basically, I just stripped all the stuff out of it. And this is the housing I'm going to replace the blue truck with. I welded the tubes. And then I'm going to put this truss on as well. That's how the truss is going to fit. I picked this one up from Barnes 4x4 because it seems like they make some pretty good products and it was very affordable. So this axle is going to get trussed so the same thing doesn't happen again. What happened on the other one is I twisted these plug welds and it actually twisted the tube inside the diff housing. So this one is getting the new low gears. I did 488s to try to match the 40-inch tires I run closest to factory. And then this is the old carrier. I've got to take the ABS ring off and put it on the new Yukon air locker. Trying to pull these off and they're not cooperating. So I had to put it under pressure and heat it up. That was stubborn. A little bit done. I trimmed a little hole for the breather. And I screwed the breather back down in there and then I just put a bellows breather on it. I like these because you don't have to find a spot to run a breather tube and it never gets pulled out and it's waterproof. We were able to get the truss on. We got the gears in, the new locker, got the pattern set up pretty good. I had to notch this cap right there for the actuator for the air locker, but we got it set up pretty good. I have the wrong yoke in it right now. That's out of the Excursion. So I haven't put the crush washer or new nut on it yet. I got those in here. So what I did is I put the bearings in, pressed the races in, bolted the bearings up without the crush washer with the yoke and without the seal on the yoke. Just tightened it up to where it had a good resistance, about 10 pounds of drag. And then I was able to set up the gear pattern. And once I get the yoke off of the blue truck, I'll be able to put that on here, and then I'll put the crush washer in and crush the crush washer and set the backlash and set the drag. So that'll be the next step. But this is the progress that we've made so far. Just making a couple more of these so I can set the diff down on this one, roll the new one up, and then lift it up right afterwards. Made these ones a little bit shorter so this diff can be under where this one sits. That way it won't get in the way of any of the stuff underneath in the frame and all that. That should hold the diff. We can put some thread lock on there and still have a few threads to go for tightening. It's really, really close to exactly what I wanted. And you can see the inside right there. Okay. We just got an off-road recovery, so we're gonna go pull out a Bronco. In. The pinion seal was the wrong seal, so I can't put that all the way together, but I did get the crush washer in. As you can see, I've routed the line. It's tucked up away. It's not rubbing on anything. You got good clearance there. Rotate that a little bit. See lots and lots of room, and it doesn't wiggle at all. I think this axle is ready to go in. The pinion seal will probably be here tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and mount the axle in the truck and get it bolted in. Fox with us today. He's hanging out in the garage. My sweet daughter's hanging out. She's sweeping. Is that what about lined up?
You lining it to the bottom of this piece?
Yeah.
Oh, right there? It's getting there.
Okay, go forward with it.
Right about there.
No, you gotta go forward a little past so it'll settle in.
Oh.
I'm holding this side.
I can, but this is stopping me on the
I'm gonna go down just a little bit more. It's gonna hit that axle a little bit, but I want the springs to just barely touch.
Well, it's touching on that side.
I think we can pull it up from there. Oh my goodness, what am I thinking?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I wasn't thinking.
Oh.
Coming back down.
Okay. That one's basically in.
Huh?
So that one looked like it basically went in.
This side needs to go forward. This side needs to go forward a little bit too. This side's in.
Can I move this one now?
Yeah.
And
Worked out really well. I'm pretty proud of myself, if you can't tell.
here, let's do this one together.
Okay, new axle is in. With the truss, low gears. Now I just got to reassemble, put all the rotors and stuff off this one onto this one. The brake pads actually look pretty good for the e-brakes, so I'll leave those. I'll adjust them out to where they're fully adjusted and plug everything back in. Okay, so we've got the rear all set. I did notice that I put in the wrong housing actuator into the rear. The front one worked just fine in the rear, but the rear one would not work in the front. Somehow they got mixed up in the boxes, and never having used a Yukon, I wasn't sure of the difference, and I didn't recognize it immediately, not until I got started on the front. Speaking of which, we've got the old carrier out with the bearings stripped off. The new carrier with the bearings. Here's the actuator right there. That one is the front one that I just pulled off the rear and redid the rear. I'm gonna have to put some shims between this, because that actually hits. So we're gonna shim that up. Got the new pinion in. I just did the factory shims for now to see where we're at. It's all bolted up. Hopefully we'll get this thing together soon. Okay, so still trying to get this done. It's a little after midnight. I got all the axles put together. Now I can start on the welder and the air compressor. Went ahead and greased up all the greasable fittings while I was down here. Got this side all the way put back together. Got the air lines run. I'm gonna probably go right up into that body hole right there. So I've got these loops down, run them up inside in that grommet. Both diffs are full of oil and ready to go. Pretty excited to take it down to Sand Hollow and try out the new lockers and the gears and see how it goes, so stay tuned. Little update on the Land Cruiser, the front differential issue. The ring and pinion is what went on it. I'll pull the old one out of the bag here. Took some teeth off of there. Yeah, chewed it up pretty good. Yeah, there's no front. I don't think it's your Burfield. So I don't remember what brand that one was, and there's no markings on it, so probably not a high quality one, but I've had it in there for like 10 years, so did pretty good. But this time I went with some nitro gear and axle. Just got the third member all set up and ready to go back in. The pattern turned out pretty decent. It's not like exactly perfect, but it's a good pattern. It's not too deep, not too shallow, pretty centered, so it'll be good. It's all cleaned up, set up, ready to go back in. The vehicle, though, the diff is very dirty inside. The fluid the gear oil got some water in it or something, is in pretty bad shape. So there's a lot of cleaning to do. You can kind of see. Yeah. And I had cleaned a lot of metal teeth and stuff out of the diff from in here, but it still has a lot of cleaning to do. I gotta try and get all that crap cleaned out before I can start putting it back together again. It's been taking a little bit longer than I wanted, working on outside, just on the 4 posts that we have at the shop here, and it has been cold, really windy, so it's been pretty miserable. So haven't gotten as much done on that, but I'm hoping this weekend I'll have a chance to be able to get it all put back together and have it back on the road again. It's been kind of fun to use the Hummer. It's super comfortable, really nice, but it is not as capable as the Land Cruiser is. So it'll be nice to have that back for the harder recoveries. So a little bit of a quick update that's what happened. Just pulling hard, a lot of pressure on the front diff, on the ring and pinion. The reverse rotation high pinions, they don't like a lot of pressure in reverse, that's for sure. So get it all cleaned up and get the burr fields cleaned out and all new grease in them. Get it put back together, have it back on the trail again. When I get to put it back together, I'll try and remember to fill some of them.
True international effort to pressure
Of it, and we'll be out on the next recovery soon. I'll talk to you later.